We asked players in the Poker Mindset Lab what it is that they find most difficult in poker. The answer? Dealing with variance. Whether you're a keen recreational player or a long-time crusher, variance is here to stay. Welcome to our Dealing with Variance series, where we'll transform how you see variance, handle losses, and ultimately build mental resilience. Over the next few episodes, we'll cover everything from managing emotional responses to downswings, shifting your perspective on variance, and practical techniques for navigating even the toughest losing streaks. Hit subscribe so you don't miss a single episode and join our Discord community to connect with like-minded professionals. Dive into episode 1, where we lay the foundations for the series. We'll start by breaking down what variance really is, debunking some common misconceptions, and managing your expectations. Variance is simply the natural fluctuation over time of your results, and it is a fundamental part of poker. It doesn't matter whether you're a seasoned professional or whether you are a recreational player, we are going to have to all deal with variance. Here's a big misconception for you. Players with a higher ROI will experience less variance. Personally, they will be experiencing different things, but variance is going to treat both players with a high ROI or a low ROI in the same way. The challenge is for the lower ROI player in the way that they will experience more prolonged losses. They will experience losing for longer streaks. So it's not actually negative variance that is what is difficult to deal with. It's actually losing. Variance is something that cannot be controlled, but it is something that we can manage. I'm going to start by giving you probably the most common mistake that I saw in my career among my peers, my students. Many poker players fell into this trap. And that is that when things weren't going their way, when they were perhaps losing over a prolonged period of time, is they might drop down in stakes or play in games that are softer where they have a higher ROI. In fact, I had many professionals in my life tell me that they were able to have no losing months for 3 years, or they've never had a losing year. Now, of course, if you play a lot of poker and you have a high ROI, then that's something that's very possible. But what is happening most of the time is many players they're actually hurting their profitability by playing in games that are much softer, but that they're making actually less money in the long run. Or another example, and this one's very common, is actually avoiding a profitable situation, turning it down, and making a different decision, perhaps late stages of a tournament. So you could be maybe second or third in chips, and you might deliberately avoid a situation against the chip leader because you don't want to bust in that moment. So we now understand a little bit about variance, and that the challenge is not necessarily dealing with negative variance, but it's actually losing. And a lot of poker players create a strategy where they try to avoid losing, and we now know that this leads to lower EV, earning less money. And that's not what we're here to do, right? So how can we start by creating a strategy that's best for our win rate? Well, it's really important to have good bankroll management. If we have bad bankroll management, then we are going to put ourselves at risk. And if we believe that there is a risk of going broke, or whatever it is that you determine to be broke, then that's going to only increase the fear of going broke. The pain of losing will increase, and then it makes it very difficult to play good poker like that. So putting in some values into this website will show you what kind of bankroll you're going to need for the stakes you're playing, and it could be quite revealing. So I'm not going to go into this too much for now. We'll go over bankroll management in a later episode, but just to demonstrate to you, this is in this situation we're going to be playing 1,000 tournaments where the field size is an average of 200. Okay, it's a $50 buy-in, and yeah, we have an ROI of 20%, which is pretty good at these. Would be pretty good at these stakes. In fact, any stake really. If we have an ROI of 20%, then we're doing okay. And we have a bankroll. I've just put in a bankroll of $2,500. We hit calculate, and we can see that with a bankroll of $2,500, playing $50 average buy-in, we can expect to go broke over 1,000 tournaments 34% of the time. Okay. In fact, the chances of losing at all over a period of 1,000 tournaments is 10%. So you could be playing full-time, putting a lot of volume in after, say, 2 months or even 3 months, you could still be losing. So given that the probability of losing over a long period of time is so high, then we can anticipate this and not necessarily get into defensive mode when we're having a losing month. That's a wrap. If you would like to follow the rest of this series, don't forget to subscribe. You can also join our exclusive Discord community. The information is in the description down below. In future episodes, we're going to be touching on the pain of losing, so that's the psychological and the emotional aspect, as well as learning how to shift our perspective, some bankroll management advice, and much, much more. I look forward to seeing you there. Bye-bye.